So you probably clicked on this video because you probably thought that you weren't enough, and I get that. But today I'm going to probably be talking about one of the biggest lies that people have about like self-worth, right? I feel like we often live thinking that our worth is decided by, people around us, right? About our external achievements, how we look, or things like that. But I'm here to tell you that that's not what self-worth is about. The problem is that if we spend our entire lives trying to be validated by other people, then we're not really living our own lives, right? If you worry too much about what other people think, if other people will like you or not, then your life is in their hands. Your worth is in their hands. It's not in our hands. And so we're not really living for ourselves. That makes it, kind of weird, doesn't it? Like, isn't it like kind of weird that you're not living for yourself? Why wouldn't you want to why would you want to live for other people, right? Those people at the end of the day, they're going to die too one day. They're not going to stay on this earth forever, and neither are you. So why should you care so much about what other people think? Why should you care what, your classmates said to you in 7th grade? Why should you care about, what people on social media are going to think about you, right? Why should you care about that? They're going to die. You're going to die. Everybody's going to die. It's just a fact. And I'm not saying that to be, dark or anything like that. But what I mean is that a lot of people really think that their worth is going to become from being liked by everybody. That's why a lot of people chase things like that. They're insecure. They chase worth by social media likes or, what other people think about them. And they really don't live for themselves. They don't really reflect and think that, at one point that they're not going to be on this earth anymore. If they're living to be liked by everybody who's also going to die, then that's a flawed reason to be living. You want to be living for yourself, right? And I feel like I'm, saying the whole, the same things over and over again, but I really do believe this. I really feel like if you're someone who lives or who thinks that their worth is decided by other people, and you think that the only way you're gonna ever deserve to live and be worth something is if someone else loves you or if someone else thinks you're cool, then you're truly not living for yourself, right? You don't want to put the opinions of other people as your worth. You don't want to be a slave to other people's opinions, right? So again, like I said, living for other people's opinions, living to be liked by everybody is not living for yourself. If you really want to know where your worth comes from, then you need to search within yourself. You need to, understand that you should live for yourself and live your own life, not other people's, versions of you, right? You don't want to live as someone else's perfect man, right? Whoever that might be. You don't want to be living for other people's Ubermensch. You're not someone else's fantasy to be living, right? You're not someone else's ideal person. That's not who you are. You are your own person. You are your own human being, right? You don't want to be living to be theirs, right? You wouldn't want to be living to be that version of yourself that they think that you are or that they want you to be. Their own subjective ideas of what, it means to be perfect. You want to live by your own definition, by your own life, right? You don't want to be living by other people's expectations of you. That's not what you're living for. So, like I said again, imagine this. Imagine you're in a hospital bed. You're about to die. You're let's say you have 24 hours to live. Are you going to care about what, Andy in 2nd grade thought of you? Are you going to care about what that one person on social media said about your face? Are you really going to care about that? Are you really going to care that impressing them and living for them? No, you're not. You're going to worry about yourself. You're going to regret the fact that you lived your entire life believing that your worth was determined by other people's, opinions of you. And you would probably regret not living for yourself. So again, I'm going to say this one more time. If you're living for, other people's expectations of you, other people's opinions for you, you're not really living for yourself. And if you think that gives you worth, then you're deeply wrong. You're flawed for that. Because other people are going to have different opinions of you. One person might think that you're the best person in the world. The other might think you're the most unattractive, ugly, and worst person in the world. Their opinions of you will always change. And as time goes on, they might, change their opinions. So why should you live for other people? You should just live for yourself. I'm not saying to be selfish or not care, and not take any sort of criticism. But what I'm saying is that, you shouldn't really let other people define your worth. You shouldn't let other people's opinions of you be the reason you're worth something. You are the one who gets to decide your own worth, you know, not other people. I feel like social media and like, society trains us that, that we're valued something because we have some sort of external success. We either have a good body or we have, a lot of money or something that we can give to the world that makes us worth something. But that's why a lot of people go into having, mental health issues. They go into, having like insecurity and doubts about themselves because the way that social media trains us to think and how society trains us to see ourselves as like tools or something that's meant to be proven to be worked for someone else. I don't know exactly the words to put it, but I feel like you get what I'm saying, right? If you're going to just live your entire life trying to be this, tool, this ideal person for other people, you're not living for yourself. That's not what gives you worth, right? So yeah, it's pretty much, what I wanted to yap about. I don't know what else to say, but it's my first video making, these, Minecraft life advice videos. If you guys liked it, let me know. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.